Today I find help and strength from the Psalms, from Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I bear pain in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all day long? Last night when I left the church, I did what I do many days, what many of you probably do. I got in my car and the first thing I did was look at my phone. And moments before, the news had reported the deaths of children and their teacher in an elementary school in Texas. And I immediately began to weep. And I texted my fiance, David, and I said, I can't anymore. I can't. And for much of the rest of the evening and much into the night and this morning, I wept and I felt sorrow and I was angry, really angry at times. And I often said out loud, I don't want to be here anymore. Just the depth of pain by the ongoing tragedies that began when I was in high school, when I saw the images of people my own age running through their library and hiding under desks and being killed in their schools. And 10 years ago, when I began in ministry in a new church, one of the first things I did was have to read the names of children killed at Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm. A year later, I met one of their parents, and I wept with him, and I heard him talk about the incredible loss that will never be fully addressed in their family, losing their 5-year-old daughter. And here we are 10 years later again, 11 days after the shooting in Buffalo, the loss of precious lives there, the day after another school shooting and the loss of so many precious, beautiful children and their teacher. And I have to ask, how long? How long? Last Sunday, the Sunday before, I stood at the front of our sanctuary and baptized our children. It's one of my favorite things to do as a pastor. I weep through those for a different reason because it's just such a joy and a privilege as your pastor and also as just members of churches to stand alongside of you and claim the promises of baptism for our children and vow as people of faith to love them, to care for them, to nurture them all the days of their life, to help them know how precious they are, and to promise to help to make safe passage for them in the world. And today, I wrestle with how we're doing at that. How can we fulfill our baptismal covenants to our children and to parents when we have school shootings that take the lives of our most precious innocent children around our country, and we have no idea who would be next? How long, O Lord?
When you talk about the water in the baptismal font, it reminds me of another pool of water that shows up in the Gospel according to John. There's a man standing at the edge of the pool. He's been there for 34 years. He can't get into the pool to be healed. And I feel like that man who's just paralyzed. I can't get into the pool to be healed. I can't help others into the pool. I feel every time we have one of these, they become more intense, and I feel more stuck. And then I hear what Jesus said to the man, which is, stand up, pick up your mat, and walk. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to be able to do. And I need to figure out, how do I stand up? How do I pick up my mat? How do I walk in the midst of the grief that is just overwhelming the nation right now?
Right. I'm right there with you, Phil. I feel those same things. But I also have this longing that in this divided world in which we live, especially in our nation, as the sides continue to draw back, and that somehow we could come together, that perhaps God's Spirit could unite us in a way that would bring some hope to this situation and some concrete effort to really eradicate this in our schools and really bring safety to our children.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do long for a way in which we could speak to our children tonight and tomorrow night and in our next baptism and in the next Sunday school gathering and the next youth meeting and say we're doing everything we can along with the Spirit's help to address this so that this does not continue to define your lives and our lives. Mm-hmm. And I trust that the Spirit of God is present among us, and the Spirit's obviously tapping us on the shoulders, and I imagine tapping on the hearts and shoulders and souls of many of you And so I want us all to join our hearts and souls in prayer, that we might be attentive to God's Spirit in our midst and really respond in whatever way we can.
So let's join our hearts together in prayer. Good and gracious God, we need your healing Spirit in our lives. We need your energizing Spirit to help guide us into a way that will make our world a better place. We need your Spirit to be with all those who are grieving this day after the horrors of yesterday, after the horrors in Buffalo, after so many horrors. We need that Spirit to blow through our world and to blow through our lives so that we can hold our children, we can hold each other, and we can move forward toward a place of peace and justice in our world. Amen.
Amen. So friends, wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing at this moment, I pray that you would know that there is nothing that can separate us from God's love. That God's Spirit is with us when we're afraid. God's Spirit is with us to help us to know the next steps to take. So go in peace.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.